Bam! What's up, YouTube? How are you all today? We have another new update, new monsters, and a bit of a balance patch to go through here. So first and foremost, we'll just jump right into it. New monsters, Galleon and Diaz. We've also got a new spell, Imperfect Revival, and yeah, we'll jump into that. Greetings from Contours. Please read below for details of the 1.4.5 update. So update details, new monster. Number one, Galleon. He is a water and heroic type unit. His skill is to he basically buffs your entire team with attack up 2 while trying to put defense down 2 on the enemies. My understanding is he does no damage. Okay, he does only cost 3 mana. Little bit OP, I think. He was 4 mana in the beta. We'll have to see how that goes, but this is probably one of those things where they release him at a lower cost and then they nerf him to 4 mana in a few weeks. We'll have to see how that goes. As for skill stones, he gets for his first skill, I believe it's a rare. Yeah, it'd be a rare. So it increases his duration for time to loot by 3 seconds. The second skill, probably his purple, increases the accuracy of his skill by 35%. Very good considering he has defense down 2. That'd be a really nice one. And his, I'm assuming, Legend Stone, it silences all enemies with a 50% chance when using time to loot. Now, I'm not 100% on silence. I'm going to assume it means they can't cast any spells for a bit. I'm not sure how long it lasts, though. Now, Diaz, on silence, though, I'm sure that we'll be able to take a look at it once the game updates. We'll be able to see the new debuff, I guess we'll call it, the new debuff, added into the information section of the game. So take a look after the patch, alright? And just to double check exactly what it does. Now Diaz, he is dark, he is also a heroic type unit, and he costs 3 mana. He is a defense type, so as you can see, Galleon is a support type, Diaz is a defense type. His skill attacks all enemies and puts unrecoverable on them. The damage increases according to his max HP rather than your enemies like the Viking. So yeah, it should be similar to, it probably does similar to Camilla's damage or something like that. We'll have to wait and find out. Maybe not as much as Camilla's because he's a heroic unit, but we'll see, right? We'll see. His first skill stone increases the unrecoverable duration by 6 seconds, which is huge, right? That'd be pretty sick. His second skill stone increases his HP by 20%, so that's going to increase his durability as well as his damage. And his last skill stone, which I'm assuming is also the legendary, so the first one would be rare, second one with the HP would be purple, and then of course his legendary is probably, it recovers your HP by the portion of the damage you and your allies dealt to the enemy that's under unrecoverable state. Pretty interesting stone, I think, because like you're gonna keep unrecoverable on them for quite a while, right? But it only heals himself. So I don't know. It should be interesting to see how this goes for like endgame and stuff like that. They won't be able to heal. You'll be able to heal. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You've got to be able to debuff them first, and there doesn't seem to be any accuracy skill stone for him. So you're going to need that on your runes. Okay. And then on to the next one, the new spell. New spell, Imperfect Revival, rare. All right. The recently died ally, so the most recent monster of yours that dies will be granted with Imperfect Revival for a fixed amount of time. The target gets defeated when the HP reaches 0 or the effect duration ends. So this is a temporary revival skill. Obviously, you can't use it on your last monster, like slot 8, because once that monster dies, you've lost the game. But yeah, if there's no defeated ally, the skill cannot be used. So you can't use it at the start of the match, and usually you don't get your first skill before your first monster dies anyway, until it's a few turns in, right? So it should be, honestly, it's going to be a very game-changing type skill for a lot of people. Like maybe somebody revives their water fairy and then heals up their slot 8 to max HP who's about to die or anything like that, right? Like it could be a very it can be a very annoying skill, in my opinion, but I will have to see. It is going to revive well, maybe not the frontline unit, I guess, because it depends on, maybe you're fighting Kobold, the RNG and stuff like that. as to where the targeting is. But I assume that a lot of the time when you go to use it, it'll probably be towards the latter part of the game rather than the start of the game, and people will be reviving like their very a frontline unit or something like that, just to kind of hold off on the time a bit more or something like that. I'm assuming that's how it's going to wind up being for a lot of it. Obviously not all of it, but a lot of it, because it would be, well, I guess, yeah, it would be a bit smoother for the match rather than trying to revive one of the very first units that died just to use it, like cycle to it. Like, let's say you've got like 8 units, one of them dies, you revive that one right away. It's kind of like you'd have to cycle back to it, and it's only going to be alive for a temporary amount of time anyway. So there's not much to be gained, right? There's not much to be gained by doing that. Now we've got some balance changes here. We'll start going through these. Those are the new things coming in. I'm pretty keen. Uh, Diaz, I think I need at this point, but Galleon's like they're both pretty game changing. Galleon obviously is going to open up the way for things like Tessarian and stuff to be a bit more reliable, even maybe Camilla, right? Because of the defense break on everyone. But we'll see how it goes, right? We'll have to see how everything goes. Now, let's see. Artemiel, his Heavenly Sword skill is that getting a damage boost of 5%. Nikki, her Teddy spell is having the duration decrease from 9 seconds to 6 seconds. So that's her how long it takes to explode, right? So instead of 9 seconds to explode, it'll be 6 seconds to explode, and then a damage boost of 10%. So that's pretty huge, honestly. Nikki, if you've got her and you've got her leveled up with some skill stone, like she's gonna pop some people, right? As long as you don't miss, right? As long as you don't miss, because that's the issue with Nikki versus Huadam. Huadam will definitely hit. Nikki might resist, like you might get resisted, right? Now Poseidon, the skill stone damage is going to be changed to a beneficial effect. So instead of increasing Mega Tsunami's damage by 25%, it's now increasing accuracy by 35%, which is absolutely wonderful. He really needed something a little bit better than damage because he does no damage. So yeah, that's great, I reckon. Ragdoll, now the Dragon Eyes. This one's pretty big. So Dragon Eyes will now be activated first when a monster granted with Dragon Eyes uses the active skill. So what this means is that instead of the monster now using its skill and then Dragon Eyes activating, which personally I thought was pretty balanced, now it's going to activate the Dragon Eyes before the unit can use the skill, which means if you go to use a unit with Dragon Eyes on it, it might just die instantly instead, right? So you won't be able to get that skill off, okay? So that's something to watch out for there. And I believe clouds just came over, so all of my lighting is just gone. Let me see. Yeah. Give me a second here, guys. Not that it matters too much. Alright, anyways. That's some heavy cloud cover. Cool. So Chloe is getting a big change. The skill stone for Mana Shield. So beforehand, it creates a shield that's equivalent to 20% of her max HP when she gets hit by a crit, right? And it just, like, every time you crit her, she gets another shield. Now, it creates a shield that's equivalent to 25% of her max HP when she's attacked with a critical hit, but now there's a short cooldown as well. So, they've buffed the shield a little bit, like 5%, but they've put a cooldown on it, so she can't just keep getting a shield over and over and over, right? You can follow up with another attack right away and get rid of the shield, get rid of her, okay? Now, also big changes, Jean. So that's the little fire gambler dude, right? So not John, or, not the paladin, but the little gambler fireboy, all right? His surprise visit, mana cost is being reduced from 4 to 3, and his animation speed's being increased, which is pretty sick. We'll have to see just how sick once the patch comes through. And his skill stone mana cost. So his mana cost skill stone decreases the mana cost of surprise visit, is now being changed to increased critical rate by 30%. So he's actually going to be pretty pog now after this. Like, he'll actually be a lot more viable than he was before. He's going to be one of those units that you use to counter and pop people with. Similar to Ragdoll, where people, rather than trying to put the debuff on people, they try and one-shot someone with Ragdoll, right? Jean is going to be similar to that. You want to try and one-shot your enemy, okay? Now, McKean, Skillstone, Cradle of Water is going to be changed to HP recovery plus 35%. I think it's basically just a buff. Let's double check her quickly. Let's just double check her quickly. I think it's a buff to the actual healing that it does. Let's see. Alright, so it doesn't have a percentage here, but yeah, it says recovers the HP of the allies when Melody of Life removes harmful effects. Oh, right, so yeah, you don't have to remove the harmful effects anymore. It's just going to be a straight up heal. Okay, I'd forgotten about the remove harmful effects part, because I don't really use McKean much, even though I have the rare stone for it, and most people just use this rare stone because it's better. The recovery amount increases according to number of harmful effects removed. Okay, so there you go. So it's just being changed to a straight up 35% heal now. Whoops. News. Notice. There we go. So yeah. It should be interesting to see how that goes. What with, whoops. What with, oh, okay. What with Diaz coming into the game now, right? So we have Ramagos, Skillstone, Crouch. It's being changed from defense 3. Okay, when you like, so you'd get defense 3 when you defeat an enemy with clean shot. 2, beneficial effect is now increasing your HP by 20%. So I still think that the clean shot increased heal. So killing something with clean shot, it increases the heal of clean shots kill to by like 50%. I still think that's better, but the 20% HP should be pretty useful in things like arena and stuff like that. Okay, and barrier battle, just like increased survivability for the bear. But I think overall the clean shot heal increase is probably a better stone. Now Priya, so Wind Harpy, Blade Wind damage is being reduced by 6%. Don't freak out. She's still going to be a really good line damage unit. All right, it's only 6%. She's still going to pop off. All right, don't worry about it. 3 mana, she's still going to pop off. Rikuni Breeze, the mana cost duration, the mana cost down duration buff is being increased to 7 seconds, which is pretty sick because I actually use Rikuni a lot, as a lot of you have probably seen from my videos lately. I've been using Rikuni for Beretta for the most part. Gibraltar Meteor Bomb, the animation time after throwing the bombs is slightly increased. So this is a nerf to help people cleanse Gibraltar bombs. However, most people just let him go off these days when I'm using him because they know I've got Sierra anyway. Either we'll have to see how it goes, right? It's supposed to be so people can counter with can counter cleanse when he uses them. But yeah, normally when you play a dot comp, it doesn't matter too much because if they do that, you've exchanged mana and then you just follow up with more dots, right? That's what you want to do when you play dots. Now, some summoner spells have also been balanced. Giant Warrior duration from 9.2 to 12 seconds to 11.2 to 14 seconds. So they have buffed it again because nobody's using it after the nerf. Chain of Despair, basic damage plus 20%, duration 8 to 15 seconds to 9 to 16 seconds. Honestly, I thought Chain of Despair was already alright, but buffing the damage and stuff, like maybe it'll kill things on its own now. But yeah, as long as like normally the issue with Chain of Despair is that people just cleanse it or transfer it, and then it messes you up instead, right? Flame Strike, the mana cost is going down from 3 to 2, which is pretty sweet. Maybe more people will use it. And Brand of Doomsday is having its damage decreased by 10% and its duration of from 10 seconds to 9 seconds. So Brand of Doomsday, I honestly don't think 10% is going to change much. The thing hits so friggin' hard anyway. We'll have to see. Like, sometimes I see a Kali get like Kali from max HP. Somebody gets detonated with Brand of Doomsday, and the Kali's like half HP. Like, it's pretty filthy. Bit my tongue. It's pretty filthy sometimes. All right. Some monsters' default stats have also been changed. So Baladion, the attack decreased from 125 to 108, defense increased from 110 to 113, and the HP has been increased from 1870 to 2070, or 1870 to 2070, right? So minor changes, but you know it'll make Baladion a little bit tankier, more defensive. Won't be as squishy as before. So only a couple points difference, but every little bit helps, I guess. Bug fixes, Verd let's see. They fixed an issue of Vertihile's Legendary Stone Immortality being activated consecutively in the unrecoverable barrier battle. Fair enough. For Copper, they fixed an issue of the defense obtained from Copper's legendary Skillstone Living Suit not being applied when using a skill. That's a shame. Jesus, I mean, not a shame. I mean, that's a worrying bug. I'm glad they fixed that. Soha, they fixed an issue of the continuous recovery that's been activated more than once being activated additionally when Soha steals a buff from an enemy. And Common, they fixed an issue of some monsters' passive effect not being activated when they die from Dragon's Eyes. So yeah, I guess maybe that would include Perna and stuff like that. But yeah, so there you go, guys. There is the new update on the way with the balance changes, the new monsters. I will be summoning. I will be putting a summon video out. I have saved a little bit. You know, I'm in mod. I think I'm still gonna save the glory summons, right? For once I hit 5k a bit later in the season. As you see, I'm already like, what was it, 4,200? Yeah. So I'll wait till I hit Master, and I'll summon with the Master, Champion, and I'll summon with the Champion box instead. And then, yeah, I've got close to 200 mystical summons. I think the patch is tonight. It's already like 2 p.m. here, so I'm sorry the video is so late. You know, normally I put it out the night that the patch notes come out, last night. And, yeah, I've just been full on, right? So, yeah. 198 books, 14,900 stones. I've got 4 ancient books, and I've got some elemental books as well, 5 each that I haven't spent yet. So hopefully I get something good out of it. Yeah, and that's it, I guess, for now. I will catch you guys on the next one. I hope this was informative and helpful, and yeah, I hope this patch works out well for me. I hope I get some good summons. I hope you guys get some good summons, and yeah, peace. Haha.